Hey everyone, and welcome to another Journey Midweek Connection. Glad to have you here. Before I get into it, I just want to let you know that this coming Sunday, we are starting signups for our fall journey groups. Our journey groups are our small group ministry where you get together with a small group of people that really forms into a faith family, where you get to study the Bible together, pray for one another, have meals together, have fun together, serve with one another. It's an incredible opportunity to grow in your faith and grow in the context of relationships and in community. We were meant for that. We were meant to live out the gospel in the context of community. And so I hope if you have any desire to have community in your life, people who know you and love you, or have a desire to grow in your faith, I hope that you will jump into one of our journey groups this fall. They're available on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Some are in the morning, some in the afternoon, and some in the evening. There are some that are men only, some that are women only, and then quite a few that are men and women together. And so find what works for you, find the time that works for you, and get signed up for one of those so that you can be growing in community and in your understanding of the word and your love for the Lord. Now, there's this story in the Old Testament that I absolutely love. It's found in Joshua chapter 4, and it's found where the Israelites are crossing over the Jordan River. This is after they've wandered in the wilderness, and God is finally bringing them to that place where they're going to step into the promised land, the land that He has made for them and given them. And they will be stepping into that incredible place after all these years of wandering. But before they get into that, they have to cross over the Jordan River. Now, at the time, the river was in flood stage, and it was going to be very difficult to cross. But again, God shows up in a miraculous way. Just like He parted the Red Sea and made dry ground appear for them to walk on, now He stopped the river upstream so that they could cross the Jordan River on dry land. And one of the great things that happens is Joshua commands them, based on what the Lord told him to do, one from each tribe to grab a big stone up out of the riverbed and bring it to the other side, where they would erect an altar as a memorial and as a memory of what God did that day for them. It was to serve as a reminder of God's faithfulness and His goodness that they could come back to time and again and be reminded that God is with them and He is doing amazing things for them. And also, when the people ask, why are we doing this? What are these stones for? It's said that in the future, you are to bring your children here and tell them about the faithfulness and goodness of God and how He showed up that day. You know, for us in our lives, we need reminders of God's faithfulness, of His goodness, and the ways that He has shown up. Many of us go through trials and struggles and storms like we've been talking about on Sundays the last few weeks. Things in our lives that seem way too big for us because they are. But we need to remember that in those times not to despair, but rather to trust in the Lord. And one of the ways that we can do that is by reminding ourselves of the times that God has been faithful to us in the past. That we would write things down or even take pictures of things or whatever that we would be able to see on a regular basis of memories of times that God has shown His faithfulness and His goodness in our lives as well, so that when we're going through that time, we don't despair, but rather we're trusting because we know, yeah, God, You are with me. The last time I went through a trial, You stood beside me the entire way, and You provided a way through it for me. And also, not only is that for us, but it's also for our children and our spouses and those around us, that those things that not just remind us, but it can be a testament where you can give a testimony of God's faithfulness in your life to help encourage others in their walk with the Lord as well. Just a few weeks ago, I had the chance to go and be a part of a camp in the Black Hills of South Dakota. This place is called Camp Judson, and I'm actually wearing their shirt right now. Camp Judson was a very special place for me. I've been going there my entire life, and it's where I accepted the Lord. It's where I felt called into ministry by the Lord. It's where Lynn and I, my wife, really met and hit it off and started our relationship. And so it has these incredibly huge milestones in my faith and in my life packed up into this place. And so for me, it was an incredible blessing to go back to this place and to bring my family and to walk around this place with my kids. And it was kind of served as a memorial that it reminded me of God's faithfulness in my life, but I also was able to point out places to my children of saying, this is where God convicted my heart and showed me His goodness, where I accepted Him as Savior. This is where God told me that my life was to be for Him and nothing and no one else, and that He called me into ministry. And it was this beautiful time Not only to remember God's goodness in my life, but to be able to pass that down to my kids as well as a memorial of what he's done in my life. So friends, no matter what season of life you're going through, think back on the times that God has been faithful and write those things down. Take pictures of them. Do whatever you need to do to constantly remind yourselves, not as just those places are special, but God was in those places where he stepped up and showed out in amazing ways, again, showing his goodness and faithfulness to us. Let's remember his everlasting and enduring love at all seasons of our lives. Have a great day.